So I have not seen the clip in its entirety. I've been searching for it. But apparently, and this is what she's saying, is there was another child there who was taking either a toy or a piece of playground equipment or something from her child.
Hmm.
And it was frustrating her. And I guess whoever the parents were, I don't know if they weren't paying attention or what. And apparently she fired off that N word. And that's where the clip kind of jumps in and starts to slide out of control.
All right. Let me start it up.
The child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to you. That little kid, you call him the little child? Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
Yikes.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be the that.
I don't give
All right. Well, society always tends to let you down. And she started, and this isn't GoFundMe. This is I think it's called Give and Go. But she started a give and go for this, for what occurred, because she's, getting harassed. Her kids are being harassed. They're probably trying to get her fired, the whole gamut. And, it's unfortunate how this all played out, though. She's definitely wrong for when it comes to insulting kids. You got to be mindful of not to go too far. And she definitely went too far with saying if she. You know what I have a problem with this that no one has brought up, though? The guy that was recording, that guy wasn't black. When did he get a card to say this?
That's a good point.
He said it multiple times. Ain't nobody said anything. I haven't seen what this guy looks like. I want to say like the person that I like, someone said that the guy might be Somalian or something. I was Somalians getting passed now. Like, I need to know who all gets the pass to say this, because apparently that list is growing longer and longer depending on who is saying it and who is being directed at, though, from what I've been seeing, though, because that makes no sense to me. I'm gonna look through these comments real quick for the audience, though, but if you want to jump in now with the new information, if there is new information.
I'm gonna approach this as a parent. Not new information, but I saw a lot of parental failures in that video. First of all, if your child is having a problem with another child, you take that out with the parents. You don't go after somebody else's child. That's number one. I literally just had a situation last weekend where I was at the park with my daughter, something like that popped off. And I ended up telling the father, who was not paying attention to his kids, I was like, look, either you handle this or I'm going to handle this, because my daughter is getting on this swing. I just need you to know that. And that kind of prompted him to get up and handle his business. But he should have got with those parents. And if the kid was there by himself, then that's a failure on that kid's parents' part, right? But a grown adult screaming at a little kid who's probably just learning the concepts of sharing and parallel play, that's not a good look on her part. Now, that's number one. Number two, 600K in funds? Like, what does she be saying? These people that are donating money to her, like, what are y'all thinking? I really want to hear from one of y'all.
IMC sound like you pocket watching.
I've been pocket watching ever since the brick lady hustled everybody for 40K.
Hey,
trying to lie and blame black men for something that never happened.
I forgot about that.
Of course I'm pocket watching, because these people get on these fundraising websites, they hustle everybody. What do you need 600K for?
You know what?
We just talked about the kid in Texas with the knife. His parents just got a whole bunch of money. They bought a house.
They almost got $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something that might be a little bit controversial here, though. But you know why I think she got 600K? And it's not because of white. I think it's because of simping.
That's a huge part of it. Absolutely, that's a huge part of it.
Because I'm like, a lot of times when people do stuff like this on both sides, they're like, yeah, you were out of pocket. You were okay. It's really two things. So I'll tackle the first one. I think it's because of simping. This woman, I mean, she's not ugly, but I can see, somebody would be like, well, she's like, I don't know, 4, 5, or whatever. But the point is, I think a lot of men do not see her as being ugly, and I think a lot of men gave money to her to her GoFundMe or her Give and Go, whatever it's called, her charity. So that's part one, though. I think it's more to do that because I don't think a lot of women would give her money because a lot of women would have been like, "Yeah, you went over the line with that one." I think a lot of women understand that you can't just be dropping racial slurs to their kids, even though certain people will say it to their kids. That is the thin line. That's the rule. But anyways, and the second thing is, I think a lot of white people saw happen with what you just brought up was the Carmelo Anthony situation. And I think a lot of white people were like, are we serious? Like this kid killed this other kid in cold blood and was rewarded with the amount of money that he received and then what they did with the money. So I think if there are, and I think mainly white people gave to this cause, because I don't see a lot. I just don't believe a lot of black people will give to this type of cause, though, because it really doesn't go across. I mean, it only goes across lines in terms of like, this is a white person, they're talking about a black kid. I think they were just doing it just because of the way this woman looks, and then also what happened with the Carmelo Anthony, how he got money. And they were like, well, if he's gonna get money, I'm gonna give this other lady money, because I don't think if nobody would have brought this up, though, I don't think it would have been an issue. I don't think she would have got the money that she received, but because it was pissing a lot of pro blacks off, they ended up giving her all this money. That's why they kept doing it. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna keep doing it to piss people off." It's a crazy way to spend your money, but that's what I think happened here.
So I'm just going to call this what it is. This is a woman's privilege. I don't care what
Yeah,
anybody
right.
says. Contrary to what all of y'all women out here saying about not being protected, she went on the internet. She said that she felt threatened and her life was in danger and she needed protection. And her quote unquote tribe responded by giving her 600,000.
Well,
It,
honestly, though, I think and we've seen in these situations, though, people do start getting docs. They start getting what do you call that when they send the SWAT
That
team?
that's
SWAT in.
that's
Yeah,
fine, and I understand the whole doxing part of it. But generally speaking, when a woman goes online and she's distressed and she's crying and she's fearful,
yeah.
someone is going to protect her in some capacity. That is the privilege of being a woman. We are supposed to protect you. Now, will you see something like this happen with a black woman? Probably not to this degree because our village isn't in accord like it's
Well,
supposed to be.
you brought up the brick lady. That was a very good point. And then, we
But that
think
was
of
also 40,000 compared to 600,000.
it, well, the 40,000. I think that started to crumble after we found out a couple days later that she was lying.
Right.
Because that's what came out, that she was lying about getting, it came out that she had other GoFundMe's where she was scamming people. So that's why I thought the scam didn't go as far. But also, she didn't have a white person. She just had black men. Nobody cares about black men
But
attacking.
my statement remains true though, TR. She was a woman in distress and men
Yeah,
jumped into action
yeah.
because
I
that's what we're supposed to do. Now, as a woman, your responsibility is to not take advantage of that. Your
yeah.
femininity is your power, but you can't take advantage of that.
Oh, MC, they're going to take advantage of that. But
And
that's a
they're
very
going to
good
abuse
point.
the hell out of it. That's the
Yeah,
problem. This lady is abusing it probably to a degree. You
yeah,
don't need no damn 600,000.
yeah. That's a very good point, though, because I was thinking they were doing because of the way she looks. But yeah, there are a lot of simp men that will just give money because a woman is asking. And well, OnlyFans. So there's that.
It's OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately for this case, though, if people really if they really had a problem with this, if they really wanted to do something about it, though, then yeah, I don't know. Well, you really can't do anything about it, honestly. You really can't go in and say like, "Hey, you can't take this money away from this chick because she said some slurs for the internet." What are you gonna do about the guy that was recording? He said the same slurs too, and he ain't black. I know he ain't black. That's why you ain't seen his face, because he's not black. You know. So
Man, it's a cold world right now, man. I can't believe she got 60K out of that. I can't
yeah,
wait to see what we're gonna see her in Vegas dropping bets. We're gonna see her doing something wild.
yeah, she got 600K the easy way, apparently. So,
Yeah,
all right.
that's definitely the easy way.
All right, we're going to get to the next topic.